So today I thought I would share with you guys some gardening tips, gardening in Alaska. So there's a few things that make Alaska a little bit unique. The growing season is much shorter here in Alaska than it is other places. So there's a lot of things that we cannot grow just out in a garden. But there's a lot of things we can grow. So I thought I'd share with you some of the things that we do to grow a garden for our family. So I will take you on a little tour. Alright, so one of the first things that you saw in the beginning of the video was tilling the ground. So we have to till, we have to add and amend the soil. So one of the things that we have to have a lot of in Alaska is lime. We have a lot of organics, but we don't have a lot of lime in our soil. And it makes a huge difference in how well things grow. We noticed one year our potatoes just did not grow very well. We did not get a very good yield, and we had our soil tested and it was because of lime. So we tilled our soil. The other thing you'll notice is that all of the the rows are mounded, and the purpose of mounding in Alaska is to get the soil up where the sun can hit it. The ground temperature does not get much above 40. In some places it doesn't even get to 40, even in the summertime, just a few inches down from the very top. And so we mound the soil in order to get it warm. And this is great for potatoes anyway, because the potatoes need to be mounded, and that's what I'm going to put in here and all the way down to the very end. We grow a lot of potatoes. My kids eat a lot of potatoes. The other thing is fencing. We're going to put some fencing in. It's going to start here and fence in this area. We have predators. I guess it's garden predators. Things like moose that are going to eat the cabbage, and rabbits that eat the peas, and things like that. So fencing is a big thing as well. If you'll notice, I started my own starts this year. I usually go buy them in a greenhouse. We'll see. I'll show you a little later in the season whether these grew. These are my zucchini. They were doing really well in their pods. So I'll just show you really quick. This very first row that will be along the fence is peas, so they can trail up the fence. This row, I thought this was all broccoli, but I think we have a little bit of cabbage in it. But then cabbage and broccoli. This row has cabbage and then radishes. This row and this row next to it are greens. So I think we have spinach and we have some lettuces in those. And all that stuff grows really great. Zucchinis grow great. These 2 rows we have carrots. Carrots do awesome. Root vegetables seem to do really well up here. And then we have some beets. I have never been successful with beets, but I decided to try it, so we're going to grow some beets. We'll see how those work, and I'll keep you updated on that as we go along. And then, like I said, the rest of this is potatoes, and potatoes grow fantastic in Alaska. The one thing I do have besides that, and maybe this row will be devoted to that, is I've never tried growing onions, but I see people who can, so I'm going to try that. We'll see how that works. And then the other thing that I have in my garden, something that grows super fantastic in Alaska, is rhubarb. And I had this rhubarb in a different spot, and it just did not do well. I mean, they survived, but they didn't grow really well. So I moved them down to my garden, and this is the very beginning. I'll show you a little later in the season. These things get like 3-4 feet tall, huge around, and they seem to just really like being out here in the sun. And they probably love the nutrients that we put in the garden as well. So we'll grow these rhubarb, and I love rhubarb with like all sorts of things. But those are some of the things that we are growing, that we always grow. Good morning, everybody. So today is the last day of planting, I'm hoping. Hopefully I'll get the potatoes all planted today. That's all I have left. But I thought I would share with you really quick how I plant potatoes. And I don't know, this might be different than other people, but I'm going to show you what I do, and then I'll just show you a little bit of my planting. Okay, so I have this potato, and you'll notice that there's eyes here, 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 here. And like I said, I want 2 eyes per seed. And so I'm going to cut this potato, and I'm looking, I don't know. We'll probably go through this way. I got to cut on my board though. And now you'll see that I have, this one has 3 eyes. This one has a whole bunch of eyes. But I've just made 2 potato seeds. And so I'm going to take these and plant these. I plant these about 18 inches, 2 feet, somewhere in there apart. And then my rows are 3 feet apart. So we're going to plant these, and I'm just going to do a few rows for you while you watch. And these will grow. Because I pulled them out of my root cellar early, they're already started to grow and they've warmed up. The root cellar stays about 35 to 40 degrees. And we don't want them to go in the ground at 35 to 40 degrees. When they're that cold, they don't grow as fast. They will grow, but they take a lot longer. So pulling them out, warming them up about 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time makes them start growing, number one, so they're already producing a plant, and it makes the process just a lot faster. So I will plant these potatoes, and then I'll show you the rest of the garden. Thanks. Okay, once I have my potato seeds, I'm going to space them out first, and then I'm going to dig, sorry, my kids are moving metal. I'm going to dig them in a whole row at a time. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and I'll just show you what I do. And I go about 2 inches below the surface. The seed is probably about, the bottom of it is probably about 3 inches. So I'm covering them with like 2 inches of dirt. And sometimes a little bit more. Just, it depends on the size of the potato. So. And then while I'm at it, I also look for different things. So this one has a hole in it, and there's really no seeds on this end. So I'm going to discard this end and just use the top where there's seeds growing. last step is to water. You want to water your seeds as soon as you plant them so they have a good start. So.